What's up, traders? It's your boy Vincent, aka Vin Boss, and today we are going to do with another deep dive of the analysis. So, with that being said, traders, I would like to notify you, traders, that today I am sitting with my son again, so it's just me and him. And this video might be filled with baby noises. You will excuse me for that. And some duties you cannot go away from or change or even avoid. So with that being said, traders, let's get into the market. Try it by any means necessary to distract him with Wi-Fi, Cocomelon, and black coffee. He likes black coffee. So after all of that, we are going to go straight into this video directly. So with that being said, beautiful traders, what did I expect from last week? Remember this. If you were following us on a daily basis, you would remember that there's a video that was uploaded on YouTube, which is the daily video. And with the daily video, we did have mentioned that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is a 5 wave. And we are now starting to break to the top side with this uh, wave that we expected and that we predicted as soon as we hit these levels, and that we are going to go to the upside with the DXY. And if the DXY goes up, this means that the dollar is strong because the DXY is the dollar index. So with that being said, this is just the 4-hour chart. So let's go and see what we did expect from us on the 4-hour chart. This is what we did expect on the 4-hour chart from last week's deep dive to today. This looks like an A and a B and a C. And as soon as we hit the 14-day liquidity right here, which is 99.27 on DXY, we are now looking for buying opportunities to continue to the upside. The overall direction is still to the upside. This is what I want to see. This is what I would like to see. Now, this right here is what has happened on the 4-hour chart. We did came here. This was that ABC that we saw, and then we came up, failed to do this. If you are watching our daily videos, you would understand what I did say about this failure, and this one might come down and retest so that we can go to the upside. This is exactly what is happening in the market, and this is exactly what I want to see in the market happening. So let's go over to the daily, and in the daily you would see, so in the daily, what do we have? We do have this similar to what we are having in, this is exactly what we are having on the daily. So this is a buying opportunity, of course, a morning star candlestick pattern to the upside, but it is stronger than even the one that is depicted here on this picture. And with that being said, traders, this is exactly what I am talking about. If I zoom in, you can see that the close from yesterday is actually higher than the tail of this shooting star. It is actually higher than the opening of the last bearish candle. So this makes this a very strong morning star candlestick on the daily time frame, which signals that everything we've been saying is coming out and it's going to play out exactly as we do want to see it happening. So with that being said, my traders, let's go over to the weekly time frame and see how the weekly behaves to the current market conditions. So with that being said, again, this here on the weekly time frame, we did mention that this looks like a resistance level, but we are not entirely, convinced that this would resist. I would like to see is these levels being broken to the upside so that we can see more momentum from the buying side of the DXY. So with that being said, let's go over and see what this uh, weekly video has in store for us. And I know I didn't show you the daily, so I think I should just show you what the daily said before. This was the daily on Friday, last week Friday. So let me just show you. I'm a bit distracted with the boy because he just keeps coming back to me and looking me in the eye, waiting for me to say something or tell him not to do something. So I'm sorry, guys. It's an experience I'm not used to. Usually when I do these videos, he's with his mom. So with that being said, let's get to this. This is what we did expect, of course, with let's go back to the daily. I'm sorry for doing this back and forth, of course. This is the daily. After showing you guys this candle, this was on Friday, and on the daily, this is exactly what I said would happen, and this is what has happened on the daily. We are now structured to the upside. We have a break above this structure, and we do have a pullback. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Friday we do nothing, and then on Monday next week we start going to the upside or to even retest, but to make a new high, it is more imminent than it is for us to keep on going to the downside with the dollar. So with that being said, beautiful traders, I would like for us to return back to now. That is what I was expecting. So everything on the 4-hour time frame aligns with the daily time frames, aligns with the weekly time frames, aligns with the monthly time frame. So going back to the weekly time frame again, I will repeat everything that I've said. We are not here for this sell. We are not looking for the sell just because of this resistance. We are not yet fully changed on the lower time frames. So firstly, everything changes on the lower time frames and then follows the bigger time frames, and then you can see how everything else is going. So with that being said, since we are not yet changed on the lower time frames, we are going to we are going you see guys what I'm talking about. I don't know if you guys heard him on this mic or not, but I hope not. So with that being said, this is exactly what I want to see. I want to see this go to the upside, of course. And with that being said, this is going to turn and go to the upside and hopefully break this, because our near-term target is above this weekly high. This is our near-term target. So with that being said, beautiful traders, we are going now to the last but not least. As did I of course, let me do this again. I said I would do this. This is the weekly explanation from last week's deep dive. So let's get into this. Time frame. We are here. We have already what looks like an engulfing pattern. We are on the tail of last week, which is here. We bought here last week and we went up with this wave. And even on the weekly time frame, you can see that we do have an independent resistance right here. We have the weekly resistance, which might look like we are going to continue to the downside. But if we are going to, we would like to see this close below this last week's low, last week's opening. We would like to see the close of this week go below last week's opening. If you don't mind, I can just view this up to zoom it so that I can explain this much further. Now, traders, this is the opening of last week. Went to the downside, we bought from this, and then to the upside. This is the weekly time frame. Now, with that being said, what do I expect now? I expect to see this close a little bit higher than the opening of last week, which will confirm to me that we are still in a buying opportunities to the downside. And with that being said, traders, I do want to see this go to the upside. This is by far the best uh setup going into next week. And last but not least, we can check this. Do you guys see? This is what the weekly did. It did not close. It was somewhere here. It did not close below this. It still has a tail below, And with that tail below here, we are now going to be structured to the upside and make this new high to the upside. So with that being said, beautiful traders, let's go to the monthly time frame and see what the monthly time frame has in store for us. So on the monthly time frame, nothing has changed because the candle is still open. Everything else is still biased up until the candle closes. So we are still in March, and March has started with a strong momentum on the dollar to the upside, breaking this top. And what I would like to see happening is closing above here so that we can have a little bit of a pullback going into April, and then a strong momentum to the upside in April. So this is exactly what I would like to see. And if I do get a chance above this, this would be a great place for me to showcase my entry style. And we did have another analysis based on what the monthly candle might be doing. So let's get into this. That the same as the weekly time frame, which is the resistance of the monthly time frame, and we have bounced and hit this. I do believe that before this month end, we might close in a bullish momentum so that we can continue the bullish momentum and break this resistance on the weekly and the monthly time frame to continue to the upside. Now, this is the DXY. If we do go back to the 4. Now, this video here symbolizes what we are going to do or to deal with on the DXY going into next week. Everything is simply aligning to the upside. I want to see us come maybe to these levels before June, and we would be happy. And this would not only symbolize that we were correct, but it would symbolize the strength of the safe haven during this war that is happening right now. The safe haven being the US dollar. For us to chase and make money out of the US dollar is our friend during this war. So traders, let's go straight to the euro and the dollar to see what it does have in store for us. So traders, with the euro and the dollar, very simply put, this is the 4-hour time frame that we do have. We did have this signal from yesterday, of course, and I do expect to see this go to the downside. Last week on Friday, this was still what I wanted to see. Did have the last push, which gave us a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 instead of an, A, B, and a C wave, and then a continuation to the upside. This was the last pull because we all know, those who knows the Elliott wave analysis, they do understand that 1, 2, 3, 4, and the fifth wave is really not that strong. Sometimes it doesn't even break the previous high, it just goes below. But in this case, it did. But how did it break these previous highs? If we are to pay close attention, you would understand that the answer is within every candle that you guys are trading. And remember, this is the orange line here. The yellow line that we do have here is 1.1577. This is the 14-day liquidity, and with the 14-day liquidity that we do have right now, we do have a strong tail above. Everything came down to the downside. We did have this candle, big tail. As soon as we are hitting this is like a pattern. This is what we call a trading signal. What is the signal when you reach a specific liquidity or a specific level? Now, we do have this tail, another tail, another tail, another tail, and two more tails, especially as soon as we got above the 14-day liquidity to the up to the upside. We started going to the we do have already structured our 1:20 liquidity down here, and we have already breaking even just in case we go up to the upside. But I do expect to see this going like this up until next week. And with that being said, if we are going to take out this 1:20 risk to reward ratio, remember this was a fantastic setup to the downside. We did take this to the downside and we made 1:20 with this. So this kind of wave is exactly what I do expect to see from this level again going to the downside with the euro and the dollar. Now this is the deep dive. Remember, we still have to go to the daily time frame on the dollar and see. But before we go to the daily time frame, let's see what we did expect from last week with the first I would like to see selling opportunities arriving from here to the downside. Even though this looks pretty much like we are in a uptrend, we might be bouncing from here and continuation to the upside, which I would not be paying attention to, because this wave liquidity here, I do mention this a lot, traders. I want you to pay attention to that. I do mention the wave liquidity, the 14-day liquidity, the monthly liquidity. There are three types of liquidities that we are using in a real account traders community. And for you to join the real account traders community, it is very simple. Let me remind you before we continue. All you have to do is register under your trading account under the exclusive excellence link, which will be left under the video description on this video here in YouTube. Verify your trading account details. Now, traders, I'm not pausing my marketing, but I just wanted to show you what I was expecting. Not any bullish momentum to the upside that break up like this. No, even though this looked like that, I was expecting this. But please go to the video during the week. You would see that what I was expecting during this analysis, and then a continuation to the downside. And I think I should just get into this. Uh, I think I should just get into this analysis right now so that I can show you guys. I do have that video that was done during the day. Sometimes giving you guys the work to go and watch the video. I don't think most people go back to the videos, so it is better for me to give you traders a specific this is let us find excuse me 20 to lead us to be a bearish by the time the London session opens and we go to the downside. We break this top. Do you traders see this was to the downs? This was already when the wave was to the upside, when we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave to the upside. So let's go and see what this video truly has in store for us to the dollar. Now this also looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 completion of wave correction. Why do we see this as a completion? Because of the tails that we have reached. As soon as we reach this place, nearly, we are now testing our moving averages, and similar to the dollar, we do have a evening star pattern right here, which this bullish candle might also lead us to be a bearish by the time the London session opens and we go to the downside. We break this top, make out 1:20 risk to reward ratio. Now that is the 4-hour analysis that we did have on the euro and the dollar. And with that being said, this was fantastic also. So imagine having a good signal from these levels and entering and then expecting this. But before that, even from here, you were expecting to see this come, retest here and retest here before going to the upside. This takes stress out of trading. This makes trading easier for traders to come and trade with us. Now, with that being said, beautiful traders, let's get to this. Remember, for you to register your account with us, you have to register under an exclusive XNS link, verify your trading account, fund the minimum of $100 or even more, and then send proof of registration to me in Telegram. And the Telegram channel is VinBoss, VINN Boss, free signals. You can search VinBoss free signals, VINN Boss free signals. You can check it on, you can search it on Telegram, you'll find us, or rather you might just click the link below here and see what it does have in store for us. So with that being said, beautiful traders, back to the charts. We are still expecting the same thing right here, which is a bearish momentum to the downside, and to make this low, to make that 1 is to 20. And we also do account management for those who don't want to be hands-on, who just want us to update them on a weekly time frame. So for you to do account management, it's still the same, $100 or more to start with your account management, and that is it. So with that being said, this is the euro dollar 4 hour chart, and I think I would pass through this as this video is taking longer and longer and longer. This also is the daily time frame, of course, and on the daily time frame we do have that evening star candlestick pattern. If you can't remember, or if you do not know what the evening star candlestick pattern is, I would definitely be here for you to see what the candlestick pattern is and how it plays a role in this signal. And this is the candlestick pattern that we are calling the evening star. This is the candlestick pattern that we are calling the evening star in the market right now that is happening. So with that being said, traders, let's just forget about what this candlestick mean and go straight to what we are calling the euro and the dollar forex setups, which now not only is evident to the downside, but it is also part of the momentum to the downside. We are now looking for a momentum to the downside. This video is taking longer than it is expected to take, so please do not uh, this is the daily, and everything else will go as intended. So if you traders are not with the real account traders community, I already showed you what to do to be inside that beautiful group. And even on the weekly time frame, same thing is happening everywhere else. We are now looking like we should, or we are about to go to the downside and break this to the downside, including even the monthly. And even if you can see on the monthly here, we do have this to the downside. This is the monthly liquidity and the monthly time frame. So guys, my son is acting up. Of course, he can't be left alone for a long time. He's an attention seeker, so I might just give him attention now. And before we go to the US dollar Japanese yen, we will be here to analyze everything else.